La Sungu fire taste, yes. In respect of copyrights, I won't play the whole song because you never know where the legal matters go with this man. But that's Fire Taste, the legend, Fire Taste Congolese. Anasema Tangawisi, my friend. Welcome, welcome abroad. Welcome to Fat Tuesday. Fat Tuesday? Man, listen, I'm not recommending fat on a Tuesday. I'm recommending just that Fat Tuesday is a very common thing people throw around. I think I remember Fat Tuesday when I used to live in the Creole land of Louisiana. I think it's after Mardi Gras, the celebration of Mardi Gras. To know Mardi Gras, you have to go to those sides of New Orleans and you go to Bourbon Street, and that's where Mardi Gras do happen. It's not for the weak-hearted, it's not for the saints, it's not for the righteous. What happens in Mardi Gras stays in Mardi Gras in Bourbon Street, New Orleans. Welcome to my inner sectum. And this is Joel Chesimette talking to you from the throne of life, my friend. It's Fat Tuesday indeed. In fact, it's interesting. Last Sunday, there's a team in that I was officiating, and their name is Fat Tuesday. And I hate to say that they represent the Fat Tuesday pretty well, but you can go figure that in your own mind. I didn't say it, I saw it. Okay? They were Fat Tuesday, but they were playing for 90 minutes of a football game. Good for them. At that age, 40 and above, it's not bad. They're doing very well. And anyway, I'm here with you. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'm privileged. I'm humble. Because you know what? Let me just get to it. Fire Taste, man. If you like Congolese music, back in the days, man, they still rock. They are pretty interesting. The Republic of Congo, they are musically, I think they are way ahead. They speak French with some local dialects, and they come out with this what they call Lingala. It's a very, very seductive language. So, what do you think I have in store for you? Now, a few things I'll just share that I don't mind doing it. You know, one of the things I try to share every now and then is this idea of humanity. I think you guys have been following me for a while. I advocate humanity. I think is the highest form of living. Anything else is subordinate to that, because humanity is way high in the pyramid. And I think we struggle as a people to gaze at that. We don't gaze at humanity because human beings are beautiful, man. And I think beyond human beings is anything that has life. It could be inanimate. It could be anything out there. I think we lose focus. We gravitate towards the gloom and doom. But humanity at this core, as this beauty, is a masterpiece to behold. It's better than the art you can ever run into. Because I think one of the things we struggle with as a people is we've been indoctrinated, being told you are not good enough, you're not beautiful enough, you are not skinny enough, you are not woman, you are not man, you are not anything enough. So you are not complete. So our self-worth has been devalued over a long experience and traumas, and people comparing you, oh, you should have been like your brother going to this school. Look at what you amounted to. And those doctrines dampen our spirits. It takes the living out of us, so we just look down. And sometimes I watch this during the games where somebody makes a little mistake in a pass. It's a grown-up man, grown-ass man, grown-ass woman, or whatever. And you can see that the language inside is really bad. They have this monologue that is very inflicting. It inflicts these traumas in them. And I see it maybe because of the way I am too. I see it through people maybe. somebody making a pass, they make a pass that doesn't go there, and you can just say that, oh, you suck, you're not good enough. And I'm standing there as a referee saying, man, just be graceful to yourself. Give yourself self-worth. Give yourself value, because our families can devalue our society, our nation, our communities. Give yourself love. Self-love is not a bad thing. After all, if you look at the universe, you are the highest form of living. I'll tell you that. You are, and I am too. So I think I'll start with that before I delve into athletics in this episode number 79, I think I am. Yeah, about that. Tukoriada, my friend. I just start with that and I go from there. Don't forget Fire Taste, man. Listen to that piece that I just introduced you with. I hope you heard it, but you can follow up. Anyway, what is going on in athletics world? Kenyan athletics, led by the sports guy, the sports cabinet secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, they are throwing their weight around, they are throwing their bidding, they are trying to bid to be the host of 2029 World Championship. So Kenya is trying to bring back running where they say it started from, so to speak, the Rift Valley. I don't know whether they are looking at Eldoret to be the primary host city, or Nairobi, the Kasarani, or Nyayo. I don't know, but my sense is that they are trying to bring it home to the home of the champions. That's just my belief. I don't know what they are doing with this, but apparently they are bidding for that. He's talking of bringing it to bring the sport that belongs to the nation. Well, I admire Kenyans for taking that dive. I think it's a leap of faith. I would say it would be great. It would only be great if Kenya was in a good standing for me. I think while it seems to be what I would say is almost like I think the leadership and the whole crop of leaders in that country, for me, I'm just speculating this, they are looking to rebrand their portfolio. They are trying to invite the world and say, look how we are doing very well in Kenya. That's always my belief. A regime like Kenya right now has their priorities cut out for them. And for me, when I hear that they're trying to host World Championship in a few years from now, we are in 2024, they're looking at 2029, you pretty much thinking it's a political maneuver for me. It is the idea that leaders who have failed to deliver to their locals tend to invite the international community and showcase that they are successful, that they're going to build this stadium, maybe in Eldoret, because the IOC guy was there, Robert Buck was there that day, and Kipchoge was showing them this new art, state of track and field. And my sense is that it's not about Kenya per se. It's not really about the sport. It's about the leaders. I hate to be the one telling you this, but while I hope World Championship goes to Kenya, but I'm looking at Kenya where it is right now. Their priorities as young people are suffering. The cost of living is astronomical. Is gone rogue. I think it's criminal. To think of, okay, we're going to host World Championship 2029. Let's build this stadium. Let's modify it. The question is not all that. That could be great. But the things in Kenya in place right now, the language on the ground zero of Kenya right now is not about World Championship and hosting the world to come and have sports there. It's giving people a chance to breathe. Giving athletes themselves a sense of they don't have to be overtaxed when they bring shoes or when they bring anything from abroad. Just bring that sense of dignity. This is an overreach for me. It's an overreach. I think it's an attempt to bring glamour and PR to the leadership and says, look what we've done in a short period of time. I hate to say this, but the last dictator in Kenya, that's what he did in the African Championship, All Africa Games in 1987. I recall this. It was about him. It's about sitting there and sitting on the throne and saying, look what I've done. I'm the new leader of Kenya who is going to make things great. We've had these stories before. Anyway, the Murkonen might be having a vision, but the vision should not be hosting World Championship. It's bringing stability to the economy of even athletes, and for them to feel that they have a home. Because there's something that is rotten in the system. The fact that even the other day I kept saying about the doping, the fact that we don't have funding. I mean, Kenya is broke. And even to think that we're going to hold World Championship in 2029, I hope we can host something. I hope people can host friends in their houses with some bread or some milk or some maize or something. This idea of stretching ourselves, we have roads that have not been finished in Kenya. We have an airport that is leaking. Okay, Murkonen, we've outsourced, we've sold our soul in the airport to an Indian company. Hey, I'm not going there, but I'll say it's a noble idea, it's an ideal idea to hold World Championship in 2029, but it's not for Kenya, my friend. That's my take on that. While I'm still in Kenya, I think I'll just bring you some good news. Maybe it's good news for those who care for good news. So there's been justice, and justice has come to an athlete who was murdered by two guys. He's a young man who was killed, Benjamin Kiblagat. He was killed, and the Justice Nyakundi in Eldoret found that these killers, these murderers, should serve time in jail for 35 years. It was expedient. They used the camera as the evidence, and the witness had nowhere to run with the cameras. The cameras that caught the action of them killing this runner. It was sad to see that. The fact that even the motive of why they wanted to kill this runner at a very young age is not coming forth. Nobody knows why they wanted to kill him. It's just evil being perpetuated left and right. Yes, justice came for Benjamin Kiblagat. I still hesitate to say that's enough for me, because it's the same court in Eldoret that saw the evidence of Agnes Tirop, who was killed by Barnabas Korir. No, Barnabas Korir, Abraham Korir. I keep mixing these two guys together. My apologies. Abraham Korir killed Agnes Tirop about 4 years ago. Allegedly for him thinking that she had an affair. So he strangled her, whatever he did to her, killed her. It's the same Abraham Korir that went to this same court in Eldoret. A woman seeking justice against a man, a partner who killed her. No justice for that woman to this day. Damaras Mutua and Cheptegei, the last one we heard. I'll keep just bringing these two issues together so that you can see that justice is still waiting for, some people are still waiting for justice. For Agnes and other athletes who've been murdered. And I think it's kind of the gender-based violence that I've been talking about, and the fact that they have now a hotline for them. I think to have a hotline for gender-based violence, and we have a cold case against Agnes Tirop because nobody's trying to look for justice for her, that hotline is cold for Agnes Tirop, because you cannot call and find justice for her right now, because the police, the judiciary, is compromised when it comes to women in Kenya. I'll say that all day long, and I won't hesitate, because as good as it is for Benjamin Kiblagat, it's not good for most women in Kenya and most people who have no money or connection in Kenya. So that's my take on that. Yes, justice was served, but it's almost selective, and it's almost, to be honest with you, is gender biased. While I'm still on topics that kind of rub me the wrong way, on this Fat Tuesday, I'm happy, by the way, when justice is served. I think justice is a cry for many people. There's been a cry for justice for many people. How long? How long is a cry? And so let me go to Robert Buck, who is about to retire as the Pope or the President of International Olympic Committee. He was visiting Kenya that day. I mentioned him. But he's about to retire, and there's some candidates who are trying to replace him or run this office or campaigning to be the next president in the IOC. And we have the former world record holder, the present athletic president, Sebastian Coe, whose work as a president in the athletic world is decent. I mean, he's the one who was a chairman when London hosted the Olympics in 2012. I have a respect for him. I think he's an 800-meter runner. 141 was his time, 73 at one point. I have high regard for him. So he's running for office to be the next president of the IOC when this Robert Bach retires. So he was interviewed, or he was asked something that I've been crusading and kind of laying out the injustice that has come to the Afro or women of African descent in athletics. This gender bias or feminine bias that has plagued since the woman from Poland lamented and cried, woof, 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 that in Brazil she wasn't running against women, she was running against men because they don't look like the pure womanhood that has been perpetuated or been sold or been pontificated to people of African descent. Because let me tell you something, beauty, woman beauty, even man as per se, when it comes to masculinity, is always been seen from this gladiator or Hollywood or European. That is how life is for most Africans. You have people in some parts of Africa who bleach themselves to be light skinned. Light skin is beautiful, even to the black continent of Africa. So that lens, that colonial mentality, that Eurocentric indoctrination and repugnant history of how African people are being told they need to look. I remember myself, even when I was young, where you trying to scratch yourself to be light skinned. And trust me, it's an indoctrination, it's a cult. It's so powerful that even to this day, some people cannot stand seeing themselves as being African, dark skinned. So, when a woman in Poland says that the woman she was running against in Brazil were male because they don't look like her, and they were muscular, and they look like men, and it was unfair advantage. It was advantage to them because they look like men. This is what Sebastian Coe said. And I admire the guy. But this is where we part ways with people. And I think he speaks from the same towers of men that are trying to protect the woman of European descent. This is what he says. He talks, I'm a passionate believer in equality and sporting opportunity regardless of race, sex, or socioeconomic background. Sounds great. That's how you introduce yourself, Sebastian Coe. But he continues that talent underpinned by commitment and driven by anger should always succeed. That's why I believe in protecting the integrity of women's sport. You see, this is where we part way quickly. They see women's sports because that one doesn't need to be protected. It's already there. But there's a purification I think he's trying to introduce here, the purifying of the womanhood. And then he continues, he says, what does he say? He says, these issues are complex and scientifically and socially, and we must be sensitive and respectful. Sensitive and respectful in action and in language, but I'll never be comfortable seeing a biologically born female athlete on track, in the pool or in the ring, boxing, competing against a biologically born male athlete with the bodybuilding performance enhancing effects we know they carry. How do you know that, Sebastian Coe? Scientifically? What about if naturally they've selected to be women? They've chosen, they are mothers. That's how they live their lives in the village in Africa somewhere. What are you going to do about that? You want to exclude them because they don't fit in this narrative of Eurocentric project? Because it's not African project. Let's just leave it at that. It's not. These women grow up in villages where they see themselves as who they are. Is that diversity? Is that humanity? He continues. This is where we part ways with these guys. This is where we split. And let me be honest. When that blonde woman, Joanna Jowicz, from Poland, said, oh my God, look, I'm running against men. Look at how they look. They don't have blonde hair. They're not skinny enough. They're muscular. Sebastian Coe was listening, and this he continues saying, he says, the science is clear on the bodybuilding and performance benefits that testosterone brings to an individual. So, it's not about that humanity. It's about the inside. Let's go in and find out how the mechanisms, the engine works. Oh, that's not Volkswagen. That is a fake engine. How did he get there? You like my drama there? I don't want female athletes. You see, he's taking it personally. He says, I don't want female athletes coming into elite sport. So when you say elite sport, he should say European sport, not elite. Because if you look at the times, even these women who are being ostracized and marginalized, their times they're not even world record times. They're not like spectacular times. They just look different. If you look at their times, honestly, if you look at somebody like Imali, Max Miller, Christian Mbona from Namibia was fast, but she only got a silver medal. Even the lady who won from Jamaica was faster than her. These people are still playing within the game, within the rules of fairness. In fact, let me tell you something about what I find fascinating. This is Olympic mantra. This is what Olympic language, the inclusivity of Olympic says. Faster, higher, stronger, together. That's the ideal of Olympics. Faster, higher, stronger, together. What does Sebastian Coe says? No. We need to find that what is together means. He continues, I'll finish his quote. This is what I find is fascinating for me. The Olympic movement needs clear policies to avoid confusion among stakeholders and to satisfy its broader goals. Who are the stakeholders of Olympics? Trust me, they are not based in Africa. Where there's a choice to be made between two sets of conflicting demands. And there's here, I do not want to abandon movements, commitment to female category. You don't tell me women are under siege because of other women looking different? You gonna tell me that, Sebastian Coe? No, I don't think so. I don't think women are under siege because of women who compete in that sport who look different, and they are African, they are muscular, and maybe they don't look blonde and skinny. Do you know what women are under siege from? It's in the White House soon. There's toxic masculinity out there. These women who are running in sport are not attacking women. They are competing in the same playing field that they hope they can be accepted. That's humanity, my friend Sebastian Coe. You are great. But I tell you what, you seem to think everybody needs to look European, and that womanhood that is being sold to Africans as being ideal and beautiful. It doesn't work, my man. Some people just don't have cereal for breakfast. They have porridge, or they have nothing. Maybe that's how their body grows. Or they have maize that has been boiled up, or they have no food at all. You know, people forget some people grow up poor, dirt poor, and their body structure. I remember when I was young, if I look at some pictures, I was malnourished, I was underfed. The nutritional values that I was supposed to get as a young guy were never there. These things make your body come out different. It doesn't look like somebody who is in an AC, air-conditioned house, 5th floor somewhere, eating all kind of meals. In fact, they don't even miss a meal. So I don't like this idea. I'm very, very hard on this idea that this purity, this supreme race that has been promulgated and sold to Africans, and they are being told you can't come here. This, to me, is inhumane, it's not inclusive, and it's contrary to the human rights that we've been talking about. I mean, it's very interesting how these people come across. They talk about being inclusive, but at the same point, they deviate into this purity, this mindset, this gated world, this Eurocentric thinking. And so these Africans now have to find their way. Either you go through surgery or you use some pharmaceutical steroids to suppress your womanhood. To be what? Let's find out how they look, because it's an experiment. How do you expect somebody who grew up a certain way? They are 20-something years old. To go in the surgical world, like I've talked about that woman from Uganda, Annette Negesa, whose life has completely changed. Her trajectory of life is never the same because she went through surgery that she was not even aware of the consequences. Sebastian Coe, you're going to be the next president of Olympics. I don't know how that looks for me. I think I'm having a little bit second thoughts on what I subscribe to in sports. Is it do I boycott the sports? Do I just keep talking about it? I think I'll continue talking about it. Because the voice of the prophet of humanity is still here with you saying, humanity will win, my friend. Whether it is in sport, is in politics, is in this space, nobody will define who this guy is. Because my value is not being held hostage by those who think they own me. Yes, I say that, and I say to those women and men and anybody else, remember, in the universe, in the context of the universe, you're a masterpiece. You are as beautiful, you are as wonderful, wonderfully created, wonderfully made, and this presidency of Sebastian Coe, that presidency of this country, let them not hold you as hostages, my friend. Just keep flying like an eagle. You could be an endangered species, but at least you are flying high. Don't be a chicken. You might end up on somebody's plate. Thanksgiving is coming. What about the turkey? It's been nice talking to you. I appreciate you. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep viewing, and click that button, because love will rule all days of our life. Bingo!